Hi, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching this. This is the ecosystem series that we are debuting here on our channel. So if you happen to be watching live or catching the replay, welcome, welcome. So excited to have you here. We are using a application called StreamYard, which allows folks who are watching live to tap in live, and we'll be answering questions, comments, and all of the things over the course of the next 30 minutes. It is a Saturday when I am recording this, so just know that we are going to be tight on time because who wants to miss out on these great summer days? But if you happen to be watching in another season, just ignore what I just said. I am Keisha. I'm the CEO and founder of Explore Maryland Cannabis. I'm super, super honored to be bringing you this presentation all July, every Saturday around noon. Today we had to shift our start, but we are here because showing up is more important than just showing up. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. All right. It won't be before you long. I'm gonna go ahead and slide our presentation in, and we'll go ahead and get started. Bop, bop. All right. So today, let me make sure because one thing I do is not get the camera signal right. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. I'll try it this way this week. Last week I was in a little bit of a square at the bottom and it just did not work out for making sure that I get these outcomes to you. But not gonna ramble. Today, it's for my workforce folks. If you're looking for a job, if you're looking to get hired, if you're looking to level up, if you're looking to transition into cannabis, this episode is for you. Today is from application to hire in cannabis retail. So, what we'll be talking about is the things that they don't tell you about getting into cannabis, specifically the retail side of it. All right, just a bit about me and Explore Maryland Cannabis. Started this organization in 2018. We have grown and pivoted and changed. We provide pathways to the ecosystem through workforce and small business development. So if you're looking for access, if you're looking for education, even if you're looking for a little bit of entertainment, you can go ahead and head over to exploremarylandcannabis.com and get more information about what we do, why we do it, and how you can do it too. Since the beginning of our inception, we believe the ecosystem exists in six parts. That is patients, professionals, providers, government, industry, and businesses. Now, I know last week I said we're going to change that patient piece, but we believe that all cannabis use is medicinal. So we're going to leave that in there. But we all work in tandem together. That is what makes our ecosystem so beautiful, especially here in Maryland. We have different regions, different temperatures, different populations that make up what our cannabis ecosystem looks like. And we just hope to be a steward of what that vision is. So, if you happen to miss episode one, I'm just going to go ahead and give you the quick recap. The five things that actually matter about being in cannabis. What they don't tell you is clarity over chaos. Knowing your why helps you keep on the path, but also it helps keep you focused. The second thing is consistency beats big launches. Once again, we show up because at the end of the day, someone is going to see you and someone's going to be super inspired by the work that you do. Third point is community is currency. We believe that community is the key to everything here. So get the right people in your corner and ball out. The fourth point, compliance is culture. At the end of the day, rules are rules are rules from the sesh to the actual work session, right? Actually going into work, there are rules. Sitting down in front of your friends and communing with cannabis, there are rules, right? So understand that it's all a part of the culture. And then the last thing is to start where you are, right? It's at the end of the day, if you think that you should be ahead, you're going to get there eventually. But so just start right now. Start right now. You can see the episode and that recap on our page. It's right there. Today, we're talking about something that a lot of people are struggling with: how to get your foot in the door in cannabis retail, even with no experience. We understand that the plant is new to a lot of places, right? There's a lot of stigma that's still carried with the cannabis plant. So, today, when it comes to getting a job, that's what we're talking about. So, step one, know the roles, understand the difference between a bud tender, an inventory associate, and a receptionist. There are a lot of different roles in cannabis, right? And sometimes role names are interchangeable, but understanding front of house, back of house, you have to understand it. You have to learn the lingo, right? And there are a lot of different places that you can learn the lingo. Actually asking your local bud tender in the space that you're in, who does what's your boss's role, or what does so and so do? I don't see them at the register. I see them shuffling around. So getting familiar with the terms, because you can't really land a job if you don't know what you're applying for. And in cannabis, a lot of times titles can be very sneaky. Shout out to our wholesale sales managers and market buyers and regional wholesale reps. The terms can get a lot, can get very institutional based. So just ask the questions when you go to your local spaces. Step two, you want to build a transferable resume. Okay. Don't go out and have somebody draft you something real special and fancy. You can take the skill sets that you already have, especially if you worked in food, retail prior to. Shout out to my Lush folks, shout out to my Apple folks, or even customer care. So you may have been a receptionist, you may have been an administrative assistant. Shoot, you may be an HR rep. There is space for you in cannabis, because at the end of the day, those roles are super transferable. And like I mentioned in the beginning, you don't need a cannabis specific resume. Now, to my folks who are transitioning from federal employment, and you just know that maybe one day you'll be going back into that arena where it needs to be citizen safe, and a lot of you just can't use cannabis in your resume or in your work history or on LinkedIn. That is when I would advise you to transition into something that is cannabis specific. But for everyone else who knows that having cannabis or applying for a cannabis position won't hurt you in the long run, just in case you may leave the industry, it's okay. Just be clear. Just be clear on what you're looking for, what you can do for the brand or organization that you're pitching your skill sets to, and what you've done to show proof, because it's all about proof. All about proof, friends. All right. I mentioned earlier, if you don't understand the roles, it's going to be very hard for you to know where you want to go, right? Or even just where you want to land. So learn the language, right? After having those conversations with your local bud tender, or, reading up or watching some YouTube videos or attending an Explore Maryland Cannabis training or workshop, you get that lingo, right? And being able to use those terms, when you get in front of individuals who may be hiring, who may be looking for the next employment. If I could count it correctly, we are out of the 710 era. We're now getting prepared for fall and Green Wednesday and holiday season within the next couple of weeks. So being ahead of that, getting ahead of what a lot of people are already not talking about or thinking about, you can just slide into a role and be ready towards the end of the year. So show that you understand the terms like terpene, compliance, POS, which is point of sale. But if you happen to work at McDonald's, you know that, because the register is typically called the point of sale. So this shows that you're interested, right? This shows that you're not just, you know, someone who saw a few videos, or someone who loves cannabis and they just was like, maybe I'll do this. No, it's showing that you're serious, even if you're new, even if you have zero experience. Step four, ooh, that is a complex one, but very, very easy, right? I'm going to tell you about it, and then I'm going to tell you about it. So, step four is to show up where the industry is. I happen to have a few pictures of events that I've hosted in conjunction with partners, in conjunction with brands, and that is where industry is, right? If you know where to find the events. So if you follow dispensaries on social media, on LinkedIn, commenting on their social posts, going to pop-ups or vendor events, that is where you can truly figure out what's going on, who's in, who's not, what's available, things like that. Attending local events, joining communities like ours, you'll be able to get that information and be able to utilize it to your best advantage, whether you're looking for a role, whether you're trying to expand in your role, or you're just trying to figure out how to connect with your Canna bestie. It all is connected, right? Your name, especially, no pressure, no pressure. Your name should ring a bell before your resume hits their desk. So connecting, one of the best things that we have in Maryland specifically is that we have a very small, mature community, right? I like to say we're in our adolescence, right? We're out of the baby stage. We're now, walking to school by ourselves. We might be able to hang out with our friends, but we don't have a car, we don't have a cell phone, we don't have a job. So we're just trying to build up, some of that muscle memory. And I think that that allows us to build our networks unilaterally, right? That allows us to be able to see, one day a person, maybe a brand ambassador or a brand rep, and then 6 months later, they're now the market manager for this particular region. You get to see that growth, right? You get to check in with them and talk to them when you're at different events because you are interested in how they got there, right? You may want to be where they are, and getting that insight very much from where they are is a great way to network. And so, long story short, I'd like to say that if you are thinking about growing and networking, be sure to follow and find the folks that are doing the things that you're doing in the space and connect with them, right? And we'll talk more about networking and how to connect, not in a creepy way in a few weeks, but just know when your resume hits that desk, they should be like, oh, I remember this person comes in. There also may be somebody on the inside that can vouch for you. And so our last step is step 5, be consistent and be coachable. Nobody wants to hire a know-it-all. Nobody wants to be around someone who thinks they know everything. So be consistent and be coachable. Show up when you say you're going to show up. People, especially hiring managers, they want reliable and flexible people, right? They want people who are going to show up on time. There are people who are they are able to delegate tasks to, and you're able to take it from step 1, point A, step 2, point B. If you get what I mean, you should definitely get what I mean. So be reliable, be flexible. At the end of the day, you can't teach drive, but you can train skills. I always say that planting the seed isn't the day that you're going to reap the harvest. So understanding that there may be some shifts, there may be some uncomfortable growth, there may be some times where you just got to unroot and start over again. But understanding that that is what happens, you're sharpening your skills, that is what happens, that's drive. And of course, it like I mentioned, it can't be taught, but you can always level up your skills. All right, so this week we've got some scenarios. So I'll start off with the first one, which is here's what to do if you have no experience at all. And the secret sauce answer to that is start with your network. And if you have no idea where to build your network, I always say start where you can Google the cannabis events on Eventbrite or on social media, following us some of these pages. And you'll find events that are industry leaning, but definitely open to the public. Here's one, for example. This is the 4th annual CBD infused cook-off. This has been happening for 4 years. This is an award-winning event that is hosted by the MJ Connect. The MJ Connect is a resource in the cannabis industry, but not only are they a resource, they're providing ways for public and industry to connect. So let me show you, for example. We have all of these brands that are on this flyer. Now, why is that important? One, it shows that there is some industry public partnership. It also gives you, the public, an opportunity to connect with the sponsors and see if they're hiring. Maybe they are. Maybe they'll let you know to come back and check in 6 weeks, right? But if you hadn't gone to this event, which doesn't seem very much like a place where you could get hired, you absolutely could. You also could get your next promotion because while you are comfortable with the brand or the organization or even the outside business that you're working for. You can see again if any of these folks are looking for people with your skill sets. If you're not looking for a job and you're looking for, say, someone who could you could partner with, right? Check out some of the chefs, check out some of the recipes. There'll be other vendors and entertainers there. So this experience and this particular event gives you a broader view of how to enter into the industry without even having a network. If there are any questions about other ways or comments, please leave them below. Let's let the community all understand how important it is to connect. Here's scenario two. You put in that job application, you hadn't heard anything back. Here's how I want you to follow up without feeling annoying. Just do it. At the end of the day, you have to be able to show up and show them that you are the person, the individual, the best candidate for this job. You don't have to be creepy with it, right? You don't have to stalk folks on their social, commenting all on their pages. Just show up, right? Because at the end of the day, folks are going to want to see that you are what? Consistent. They want to see that you are coachable. They want to see that you also are a fan of the brand, whether it's a brand or a retail shop or an actual grow, right? I know we're talking retail, but these things can apply in all types of situations, right? Follow up without feeling annoying. Understand that the cringe is going to happen. You just have to be able to move through it, right? So, not following up is worse than following up and feeling like, ooh, did I really put myself out there? Yes, you did. And that person who you did put yourself out there to, as far as the job goes, it's going to be like, Geraldine, I remember Geraldine. Yep, let's bring her in. Let's see what she has to offer. If you're also looking for ways to get in without feeling a little bit scammy, you can come to our summer programming entitled Passport to Maryland Cannabis Careers. Is our summer school is a 4-week program that starts August 2nd. We'll have field trips, work days, store tours, and also you'll be hearing from folks live in the industry, how they got to where they are, what they're currently doing, if they're hiring, and also how to position yourself for this industry. Or if you just want to come and learn about what it's like to be in cannabis, you have time, we've got it for you. This program is free for folks who apply and are accepted, but we also have drop-in fees just in case you don't necessarily and can't commit to the 4-week process. It's all right. You want to just come out to Fingerboard Farm for the tour? Come on out. If you just want to check out the showcase at the end, we welcome you to do that too. So tap in. We're about 20 days away from the first day. So excited. Can't wait. But also, if you're looking to get in community as well, you can join our membership. This is why we do all of the amazing things that we do. We want you to be able to have a network. So if you are on the workforce path, particularly all of our workforce resources are free. So you can obtain all of that by joining the membership, being able to have access to our resource library. And if you take it up another level, you can become a paid member, $35 a month, and you get access to our events such as summer school, such as all of the programming that we have coming up, in addition to our awards experience that we have planned for this year. So that is all that I have for you today. I'm so excited that I was able to present this information. If you happen to have any questions, feel free to drop them now or drop them in the comments, and I will circle back and make sure that I get to them. But next week, we will be talking about brand building in cannabis without the big money. As a person who has been building multiple brands since 2018, I want to go ahead and give you some of my secrets on how to get your brand going, right? Get your brand moving without huge influx of cash, right? Shout out to the sponsors and partners that we have now. But at the beginning, my journey, I self-funded a lot of the work. that I do and still do today. So I'll be giving you some of those tips and tricks. I'll be showing you some of the work that I do, maybe even some templates and points of contact that you can figure out how to get more smooth with building your brand. But until then, I wish you all a very, very happy Saturday or Sunday or whenever you're watching this. Be safe, and I'll see you next week because this is what we're talking about. Tell a friend and tell a friend, and enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.